We're very excited to connect with you this afternoon. My name is Yulia Zhernovaya, and I'm the head of strategy at growth at Giveffect. Today, I also joined by my colleague, Nacion, who will be, we're both going to be doing this presentation and sharing about Giveffect, state of nonprofit, and many more. Also, we have our colleague Tara Peiter, who will be on the back end, helping with answering some of the questions and just overall technical support. Kay, I'm going to pass it to you to do a quick introduction, and then we'll get started.
All righty. Thank you, Yulia. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Thank you for joining us today. Just a quick introduction about me, Nacion with Giveffect, nonprofit solutions consultant. Fairly new here with the team, but my background has been about partnerships for the past 10 years, and I continue to do so as I meet more of you in this role. So thank you for being with us today, and looking forward to getting to know each and every one of you. Thank you, Yulia.
Thank you so much, Kay. Let's get started. All right, so we're going to start with the quick introduction and agenda. But overall, today we're going to speak about animal welfare organization, Giveffect, and how we help animal welfare organization across the United States to focus what matters the most: donors, volunteers, adoptions, foster parents, not data entry and manual work. So before we start, I wanted to share a quick agenda with everyone for this call. Again, we're starting with welcome and introductions. We're going to talk a little bit about state of philanthropy and nonprofit and what's happening right now in the United States. We're going to take a look at what is Giveffect, live demonstration, and at the end, we'll have 5 to 10 minutes for a live Q&A session. During this presentation, all of you will be muted, but please feel free to utilize at the bottom. There is a Q&A section. So as we go through this presentation, if you have any questions for Kay or myself, please feel free to utilize that chat or Q&A session to leave your questions, and we'll be happy to answer all of them at the end of our presentation. All right, so let's dive in. So I wanted to start by posing this question. Over the past few years, there's so many more technologies that are released, implemented on nonprofit side. But why having a unified platform, meaning one platform to manage all of your activities to support your work, is more important than ever? Well, let's take a look at some statistics. First one, I'm sure all of you are very familiar with. Not so long ago, Giving USA released the annual report of philanthropy of the year of 2022. There were so many great findings in that report, but I wanted to highlight one main one. Charitable giving level, despite reaching groundbreaking level of still almost $500 million in 2022, despite that, we still see a 3.4% decline in comparison to the previous year. On the positive side, there is more mega donors like McKinsey Scott and others, but on the challenging side, we see less individuals and less families giving to the nonprofits every year. Another interesting statistic is you can find it in the book, The Smart Nonprofit, written a few years ago by Beth Cantor and Allison Fine. By the way, if you haven't checked that book, I really encourage you to do so. It has so much interesting information. But one stat that I really like to always bring is that they point out that less than 25% donors renew their gift for the second year. Well, what does it mean? Actually, you do a lot of fundraising, engagement, work with your community. And let's say this year you were able to attract 100 new donors. Well, only 25 or less of them are typically going to renew this gift next year, their gift next year. And after 5 years, only 10 donors that typically stay with a nonprofit, which is quite concerning. What are the reasons for that? The Silent Partner software released some survey information on their blog, and among the top reasons, donors say that they don't renew the gift simply because they're not acknowledged, or they're not thanked for their gift, or as simple as they're just not asked for the next gift. And overall, they point out lack of communication about the use of funds. So what does all of this data tells us? And before we go there, what about volunteers? Well, also there are some challenges. According to AmeriCorps report, the rate that former volunteering dropped from 30% in 2019 to 23.2% in 2021. So there is a 7% overall drop in the past few years in volunteering. What does all of this data tell us? Well, donors and volunteers simply have higher expectations. On the donor side, they're looking for easier options and they want nonprofits to meet them where they are. So when we talk about fundraising and donation, donors are looking to options to make the gift, not just a credit card or ACH or check. More and more donors are looking for options like Google Pay, Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal, right? So they can choose the platform that works best for them. On volunteer side, similarly, volunteers looking for easier way to sign up for volunteering, to browse it, to complete, not deal with the paperwork, and also just as simple as having a clear expectation before they come and commit to volunteer to an organization. Last, but also extremely important, is overall demand and expectation for personalized and frequent communications. I'm sure all of you or most of you can agree that maybe it's possible to do all of that manually without many tools, but most likely, if you really want to implement some options, user-friendly options for your donors and volunteers, it does require utilizing some technology and platforms. So with donors and volunteers, expectations rising, what we've seen for the past few years is that nonprofit acquires more and more technology. There's something for fundraising, there's something for volunteering, there's something for marketing. And what happened is most nonprofits we're talking to, they use 3 to 8 different tools to manage their donors, volunteers, adoptions, and just overall day-to-day operations. And while we have so many tools for all of the things, according to nonprofit trend reports by Salesforce, only 36% of nonprofits says that they're very satisfied with their tools. According to the same report, 55% of nonprofits said that they need to invest in technology in order to increase fundraising. They also need investment in technology in order to increase number of volunteers, all while 60% of the donors expect a better experience that current nonprofit technology provides. So to summarize all of this, we can keep doing what we're doing, but what happens if we do that? With overall decline in donors and volunteers and high rising demand for personalization, communication, and services, we don't do anything about it. Chances are in the next few years, we're looking at fewer resources, more stress, less client serve, and an ability to accomplish your mission. The good news is that with the right technology, you can overcome those challenges. So nonprofit with unified technologies, according also to Salesforce report, are 2 times more likely to have exceeded their fundraising goals, 4 times more likely to have exceeded their mission goals, and according to Giveffect research, they save 30 to 40 hours a month not doing manual data entry. And that's what we do here. Giveffect is 10-in-1 CRM platform with all the software, integrations, and resources you need to connect your different development, community engagement, marketing team to manage your operations. Simply put, we do the busy work for you so you can focus on what matters the most, your donors, volunteers, adoptions, and so on. And how do we do that? As you can see on the screen, Giveffect provides 10-in-1 nonprofit platform. And Kay will be showing you some of that functionality. I wanted to put there that if we go through everything, we'll keep you till the end of today. We know you're very busy, so we're only gonna do today a high-level overview, and always happy to connect one-on-one if you're interested to learn more. All right, and the last thing I'm gonna say that with this 10-in-1 system, what we do, we typically replace 3 to 8 different platforms when nonprofit come to us. So maybe you're using Razor's Edge, Volunteer Hub, something for fundraising, something for marketing. So Giveffect replaces all of the system with one platform, one login to manage all of those activities and help you to increase your fundraising, volunteer numbers, and save time. So typically, when nonprofit moves to Giveffect, this is the result that they expect. In the first year, increase in fundraising, increase in volunteer base, volunteer engagement, and that very important time saving because you're not doing manual data entry and so on, and it allows you to spend more time with your donors, volunteers, and community. So with this being said, we don't want to bore you with presentation, so I'm gonna pass it to Kay, and are we ready to dive in?
Thank you, Yulia. Thank you, everyone. And I'm going to start sharing my screen. Hopefully, everyone can hear and see. All right. Before I start, I just want to give you diving right into here in our system, our welcome page, which is our mission control here in our Giveffect platform. And just for everyone, just keeping in mind as I go through the client examples and our CRM, keeping in mind that I'll be showing 2 perspectives, which is one, the client view, which is what your supporters and donors will be seeing as they are interacting with your organization. The other view is, of course, your admin view, which is meaning this is your view. The backend admin portal, the admin design and managing pages. So this particular page, this is our welcome page here in our CRM, which is what all admin users will see once they log in. So keeping in mind, everyone, this is my demo key. So I do have some things that are just customized to me. You can also feel free to customize all these pages. Options here on the left tab, good afternoon, your name. Here is a quick snapshot of what's happening with your organization from today, last week to the coming week. I have here my smart view that I have saved. And again, you can save whichever type of smart views you and your teams would like. With mine, I have my online donations and donations listed. Here I have from last year to this year and what's happening in my organization. And then here on the bottom, I have some dashboard widgets. Again, it is all customized as well. Right now, I have my donations happening from the month to date. I have some donors that I've lost touch with for the past couple years and may want to touch base and make sure they get re-engaged as the new year comes up. We have our upcoming donor anniversaries here as well, making sure that we keep in touch with all of our donors that's been supporting our organization, may it be from the past year, 2 years, or even 5 years and up. And also here, the system will also capture my first-time donors that came into my organization in any particular week and month. And just want to show you, everyone, that you can feel free to customize this as you'd like. Again, I have mine as all my donor and online donations. If you have a volunteer team and or want to see the volunteer side, you can add that widget just showing the volunteer so that you have an immediate snapshot of what's happening in terms of the volunteer side in your organization. All right. I'm going to now quickly dive into the client view and just show you a few of our live client examples. So here we have our South Suburban Humane Society, which we have our online donation embedded forms. So in Giveffect, we have about 3 different types of how you can put in your online donation. Here's an embedded form into your website. And just want to show you another example, Touch of Gray, Rescue. I just want to show you that they have the photos and then their website, the donation is embedded here on the bottom as well. And more photos. And here we have a branded online fundraising page. And then here we have the Vandenberg Humane Society, which is the standalone donation form. In Giveffect, we have the option to do a one-time, monthly, and/or pledge donations. And I'm just going to quickly show you here in terms of pledge donations that the system does automate it automatically. So I'm going to give an example. Let's say I'm going to give $10,000 to your organization. It will now calculate, the system will now calculate that immediately and how much amount that I need to pay. And then we have on my information here, tax receipt. I can have tax receipt sent to me directly, along with any email updates and newsletters that I would like, my address, an optional note, and then if I want to dedicate this gift to someone in honor of or in memory. And quickly here, if I want to send an email acknowledgement, and also the system can do a send an e-card from here as well. We have our payment options here, which is credit card, bank payment, and then a billing address, and then I simply click pay now. So with that said, where does that information go? So I'm going to quickly go back to our CRM just to show you that here in the CRM portion on the left tab, I'm going now to our donations management system, which all of this information, once someone is supporting your organization, will fall here in this management system, keeping in mind that if I am a current donor and/or supporter, that information of mine will just continue to add in more information as I continue to donate and interact with the organization. Also, if I happen to be a new supporter or a new donor in your organization, the system would automatically create a new contact profile. All right, and I'm switching over, showing more examples here of a simple donate button. And then we have here's another donate button, also sharing, you can easily share here to social media and then share that URL page to your supporters. Then we also have here, not a Humane Society, but we have the Saratoga Bridges Creative Endeavor Store. Just want to show you that there's an option here instead of just a donate button. They also have listed some products on the button. It could be an example if you and your organization have some animal welfare, some like t-shirts or hats or anything that you guys are trying to sell and would like to do so down the road, you can easily do so right here. Then we have the purchase ticket also option. If you have any upcoming galas or any upcoming, a volunteer appreciation, you can simply create it right here as well. They have a photo right here. The tickets easily listed here on the right side, and then their supporters listed. Here's Bark in the Dark. This is their second year, and they're almost there with their goal, purchasing ticket, more information, and also instead of just a ticket, they also have the option to, if they've added their products this way as well. And then here's just a sample of one of the a birthday that they have reached their goal, and you get all these fireworks once you reach your goal. And here I'm going to do a walkthrough of how to when someone is purchasing a ticket to your organization. So here I'm going to quickly press purchase a ticket. Let's say I'm going to purchase a $300 ticket here with a table for 8, and I'm going to do gift matching here. If it goes, if available, I can easily put in the company name here, my information, email updates and newsletter, my address. And then also here, just want to point out that in terms of that ticket, since I purchased a table for 8 for all of us, I can simply put in my team member's name, me, Yulia, Tara, along with the rest of the team, and I can simply just add in your email address and it will go directly to you, meaning I don't have to look for you or hunt you down. You can also easily receive the ticket directly to you, and then we can just meet each other at the gala. Payment information right here. We also have the PayPal and Venmo options, and then press pay now. With that, I just want to show you what that ticket will look like. Here we have that table for 8 that I just purchased with that 1 indicating me being the first person, and then so forth and so forth will be 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we have that QR code, which I'll explain here later where that goes and what it does. The date of information, location, what is that gala entails and what is it about, along with the information of that particular event. This is where your logo will go. So currently here in our demo key, it's our Giveffect logo. With your organization, the logo will go right here. This QR code right here goes to, with Giveffect, we have an event buddy app. So with that said, you can easily scan in tickets and or your event participants, and depending on what type of campaign or event that is, easily in this event buddy app. Event buddy app can be done through a desktop just like this, and or easily on your mobile phones, Apple iPads. Doesn't have to be an Apple iPad, but it can be any tablet, so that you can carry it and use it during your events at the event day of. All right. And just want to show you another example here of an RSVP button, and also they've added their sponsorship auction items. Again, should you and your organization decide to do just a simple RSVP or a donate and then our auction items. Also want to show you here that the auction items will be listed on the bottom. And each auction item has their own branding page. I'm just going to simply click one. This just simply ended. It will just look like this, which you can easily just share also with that URL to your supporters. So here I'm going to quickly pretend I'm going to walk through the sponsorship button here. Click sponsorship. So I'm going to click here. As you've noticed, that's our ticket flow is very similar to our online donation checkout flow as well. With a sponsor, I simply click sponsor, which amount I'm going to do with a 6 guest ticket, single ticket. For me as a sponsor, I can easily put in, once I go into your website, I can easily put in my company logo right here, along with my company name and my URL, my information. And then same goes with that ticket holder, how many tickets. Again, with that 6, I'm going to simply put in the 6 team members that will go with me to this event. And we'll go directly to them, showing them that same ticket that I showed you earlier, with the ticket information and QR code, payment information, and then pay now. Just want to quickly show you here about where that sponsorship will go. If I was the Jacob company, I'll just easily go here, same page on the bottom. As you can see, if you just toggle, just go directly to that particular organization, meaning that anyone who is supporting your organization can easily know and get to know more of who your sponsors are, and maybe reach out to them as well that way. All right. And then I just want to show you here our team and peer-to-peer campaigns and events. We have a donate and or support a team, or do it as an individual, just in case if you and your organization decide to perhaps maybe do a 5K run down the road. You can either have a registered team or participate as an individual. They have the sponsorship right here. The teams will be listed right here as well, keeping in mind that they also have their own page, which meaning if I go to that organization, I can simply click the team that I want to join, and then I'll just simply join the team, and or I can simply come back here and just register myself as an individual if I'm just the only one running, which the participants will also be listed here individually. Also showing that those different fundraising participant, also when they have their personal goals, it will also be listed here in terms of what their amount they're raised at the moment and or how much more they need to raise. I'm going to give an example, specifically this. She's almost there. So this one is a good one. So, but just to let you know that this is also can easily be listed right here, also on the same page, so that your organization knows who is supporting you this way. And then I just want to show you here, we have Touch of Gray. They have a Pucciarella. I know I showed you all the campaigns, just a photo, just letting you know here with this particular organization, they have added a YouTube video. It's not that long, which you can easily do yourself too. So you can do a video or a photo. Here they have the volunteer button and donate and sponsor. Information again here on the bottom, along with their participants and supporters. And then now I'm gonna switch over to the volunteer side. So with that said, I just want to show you, this is our volunteer checkout flow. This is with Habitat for Humanity, East Central Ohio. They have the information listed right here, date of birth of the volunteer, and the background. Also keeping in mind for everyone that you can customize this page as well, depending on how much information you'd like from your volunteers and or how little of information you'd like from your volunteers. So we have here the address. Here with Habitat, they listed some experience, skills, interests, certifications, and then describe any previous experience. Their availability will be listed here in terms of when they'd like to be available, how often, and then along with total hours pledge, additional details if your organization provides t-shirt or if it's a particular like volunteer, but then you also have something maybe like an after volunteer snack after any dietary restriction and or allergies, you can easily add that here or no need to. Their emergency contact, the address of contact, and then that information right here. And then the information of that volunteer work right here listed right here. So I press continue, and then I'm just gonna go quickly back into our CRM just to show you on the admin side that this will fall back into the volunteers management tab, which is this volunteers tab. We have our individuals, the different roles, skills and certifications, different groups, assignments, and then the volunteers listed here, first name, last name, along with their volunteer groups, depending on what group they're on. Their roles and interests, their donations. You can easily see here their volunteer assignments and how many hours they've completed. And then you can simply also add here a volunteer should you need to add a volunteer if someone happened to, say, show up without signing up online. You can just simply add them here on the back end as well. And then I'm just going to go back here to the client side. With that application, just want to show you with Giveffect, you can easily put your volunteer schedule and calendar on your website. Here we have Vanderburg Humane Society. You can have it in this view, which is September is almost done. This is all their volunteer opportunities in October, and then you can also view it this way. Keeping in mind that with the sign up, the system can you can also put in how many spots are left and or if there's more spots, no spots, sign up, what's available, if there's any age restriction, as information, when, where, and in terms of the clinic, maybe laundry, dishes, cat care, depending on what you'd like to do. And then with this sign up page right here, I'm going to go back. So if someone comes into your organization, press the sign up, does the volunteer application, keeping in mind also that with going back to the Event Buddy app, just letting you know that our Event Buddy app also takes care of the volunteer side as well and can easily check in and check out your any incoming volunteers that you have in any particular volunteer date. Check in, check out. You can see their full shifts right here. Again, you can also do this on site during your volunteer days through your iPad, tablet, and or your phone. And then here, as we go into kind of like email marketing and some showing you some new mailing lists, just to capture more information in terms of the traffic and who's visiting your website. Here with Pop Project of Georgia, they just simply created a new mailing list if someone wants to be added to their mailing list. So they just added their information, address. This particular organization added a few questionnaires, about 8, It's up to you how you want. Some people may have 20 and some people may have 5, but feel free to add as much as you'd like. So at least you can capture more information in terms of new incoming supporters that's visiting your website, and then press submit. And then here, in another portion, join mailing list. This particular one just wanted your first and last name and your email. And then just want to show you the last 2 of some email campaigns so you can easily share out to your donors and supporters. We have the Vandenberg Humane Society, their August 2023 newsletter. They added some adoptable dogs and cats information. If they want to shop some toys for the animals in the shelter. And then they've also added of things that's upcoming and what's going on in their organization. And then their statistics of what's happening, and also they, supporting work and monthly donor, and then also their sponsors. And then I just want to show you another example, Humane Society of Michigan. They easily added here, the click here to view some of their adoptable animals, easily can be checked here. They also added their upcoming events, so all of their supporters can easily come and support as once they get these monthly newsletters their way. And then along with that special click here to donate, I'm sure some organizations definitely just have their donate button everywhere in their website, especially here. It's most important also to add also in your newsletter as well. And then before I wrap up, I'm just going to go back to our CRM here, everyone. And I just want to show you our contact profile, which is Wendell. Just going to go here to our contacts, and I'm just going to click on Wendell. So Wendell here in my demo key is our top supporter, as you will see here momentarily. I'm sure everyone would want a Wendell in their organization. Here, I just want to quickly show you that this is a view of our contact profile, meaning this is every supporter, donor, and/or volunteer will have their very own contact profile just like this. First name, last name, information, the different types of group that Wendell is in, along with his information right here. Also, just keeping in mind, you can easily also send contact Wendell this way through email, SMS, and/or send him a letter. And then here you can easily also see a timeline of all the interactions that has happened between Wendell and your organization. It doesn't necessarily mean with just one team. It could just be also a number of your team members that may have interacted with Wendell, and the system will easily catch that here as well. So I'm going to quickly go down here. As I'm going to show you also when Wendell submitted his volunteer application, the system will catch that here in the contact profile. Here on the bottom, we kind of have like a macro view of all of the information and how Wendell has interacted with your organization. We have all his donations throughout the time that he's been with your organization, from his largest to his average. We have some of his volunteer interactions, depending on how many assignments he has done with your organization, how many hours he's contributed, the date, and the job groups that he's in your organization. Example, if you have a dog walking that happens every week or every 2 weeks, he's added as a regular volunteer, which you can do that. His hours contributed, check in and out right here. And then his regular shifts, which is if he's a regular, it will also be listed here, and his listed assignments easily right here. This is also where Wendell's interaction has been, also that was showed you on the top, which is all the emails that between you and your organization to Wendell, along with letters and/or calls, SMS messages, and our meetings as well right here. If you happen to meet Wendell in person and/or he might have showed up to your gala and/or volunteered but has not signed up online, you can simply add that interaction here on the back end. Depending on what activity you've seen Wendell, maybe you've probably seen him on site or grabbing coffee, you can just simply add it here. Saw Wendell grabbing coffee, talked about sponsorship, let's touch base in the next 2 weeks. So at least giving that interaction to know that someone from your team has connected with Wendell in that form, and it's easily captured here on the interactions tab. Few forms and waivers that Wendell has signed, his household, meaning depending on how many people on his household, may it be it could be husband, wife, or it could be sister, brother, or their organization in terms of, let's say, Wendell's part of Bank of America group and the organization, that's where it will be housed. Memberships listed here, if Wendell is part of any membership that he is reoccurring. And then also along with the development and then the wealth tab as we go here. Okay. And I just want to show you here some tasks in terms of to share with between you and your teams of maybe some tasks that you and your teams have been working on to kind of like who's reaching out to Wendell or who's touching base. If my computer goes that way, to show you kind of like what your team needs to work on. Let's say if Wendell is an upcoming donor, and if he needs to kind of like build those relationships, if someone like from your board or a board member or your CEO or executive director is kind of like building those relationships with Wendell, and we can add here in terms of task of, hey, it's time to do another lunch with Wendell just to kind of keep him engaged and see how he'd like to contribute for next year. All right, well, I'm going to pause there in terms of just our CRM and show you a few of those client examples and turn it to Yulia, and or maybe if there's any questions at this time and or would like to see something else.
Okay, I thought you were going to email a newsletters. How to?
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to go here to our email campaigns. I apologize. As you see, as I have a lot of tabs there because I'm trying to show you everything in a matter of 30 minutes. So thank you, Yulia. And if I miss a step here, just come on, dive in as I'm kind of just do a walkthrough here of the email campaigns.
A lot of time we see just the disconnect when you use like CRM and separate marketing system. It's hard to keep the updated list and make sure that you've communicated for all of your donors, volunteers, foster parents, and so on. So in Giveffect, we actually have email marketing system built directly into the platform. So it's Kay navigating there. Kay, I'll pass it to you to show that functionality. That helps to save time, but also make sure that we're meeting the demands of volunteers and donors for that frequent communications and updates.
Perfect. And then here's just some of our sample campaigns here. With here, we just have the name of that campaign. And then I just want to quickly show you here in terms of, at least you're going to see the analytics as to in terms of that email campaign that you've sent out. Let's say this is a big donor appeal. You can see how many totals you've sent, delivered, and or open, unsubscribed, and or how many clicks that has happened here in terms of this campaign. And then I'll just go back and show you how to add an email campaign. So here you can simply, let's say you name your email campaign, let's say donor 2023, let's say to board members, board member group, all contacts from your email reply to, and then here you can easily do a plain and text custom HTML, or you can simply do a drag and drop editor, which is those campaigns that I shared with you earlier today. Just want to show you that with those campaigns, photos and or the buttons and or donations can be customized this way as well, which you can see that can add your own colors of your organization, and then you can view it this way. And then I'm going to go back here. With the email campaigns, we have these automatic replacement variables depending on who you're sending it to. year to date. We have some suggested amount in terms of donations, personalized giving, and then you can do a test and or send it directly to your group.
Wonderful. Okay, you flew through it. A lot of areas are covered and like such a great overview of a lot of things that Giveffect has to offer to animal welfare organizations. Thank you for the overview, and thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us for the entire presentation. So, as I mentioned, there's so much more to cover. We've been just focusing on the very high level overview and kind of main components of the Giveffect. But we wanted to make sure that we're securing some time to answer any of your questions. So if you have any questions about platform, Giveffect, maybe something that you're currently trying to do at your organization, please feel free to add to Q&A session or just simply put it in the chat. We'll give a minute or two to submit any of the questions. But Kay, I actually received a question on the sign up form. While we see if we have any live questions, there was a question in the sign up form in terms of what kind of support Giveffect offers.
Okay, no, thank you. And in terms of when someone signs and onboards with us, and let me just show you, as I do have kind of just show you that what type of support will be listed here. So I'm just gonna, I know it goes really fast, everyone, sorry. I'm just gonna go here into what type of support. So once someone onboards with us or begins their journey with us, every new client and every client has a dedicated account management team along with their onboarding specialists in terms of data migration and the onboarding sessions. With that, we have a built-in chat support, meaning that it is keeping in mind that these are actual real people in our real teams who are answering your questions every day, every business hours, and making sure that any support that you have will be answered immediately. We have the email support, meaning that you have your dedicated account manager. You can simply send them an email, touch base, and ask questions. We have many video tutorials into our CRM, along with live webinars and training about probably every couple months. Help center, and then that monthly office hours as well. Besides that, anyone who, besides after talking to us, we don't also go away. We're also going to be here for you as well. So it's not necessarily just because you've onboarded, it's the last of me that you see, but you can always send me an email and or send me a call if any questions arise moving forward. And then here, just want to kind of show you in terms of what that onboarding process looks like. First, it's signing over the contract and where all begins. And then a welcome call from our client success teams in terms of setting up that walkthrough and onboarding and data migration. And then the next there'll be the next 5 sessions in terms of onboarding, meaning session 1 would be all the next 5 sessions will all be video, face-to-face, 1-hour calls, just like this, between you and your teams, depending on who from your team is going to use the CRM. First, a full dive into online giving, websites, web setup and contacts. Second would be data migration, branding, volunteer management, events, fundraising, email, and direct forms. Now, with these sessions, you can either, some of our clients do start, doesn't have to start in online. If someone wants to start more so on the volunteer management piece or kind of want to talk about more of the events and fundraising side, they can easily switch that onboarding to the first and second, as if that's what the organization wants to do first, and then talk about, at least towards the end of the sessions, at least what they won't be doing at the moment at this time. So at least we can kind of put in those sessions that needs to be talked about and deeper dive into how to use that management system with you and your teams. Training is and will be available to all of your teams. Let's say also if one person leaves a development and goes to another organization, and or let's say you onboard a new team in your organization, that new team member will also be trained with our onboarding and client success teams as well. And with that, after you signed on, we will continue to communicate and have this open communication of 30, 60, and 90 days, biannual check-ins as well. So after 30 days, our account management team will do a check-in along with their 60 and 90, just making sure that you and your teams are utilizing and using the platform to the best of what you need to be using it, so that at the end of the day, it's the goal is for you and your organization to grow. After that 1 year of being with us, and then seeing that growth as well. So at the once you start with us, that communication, and it's we're number one on our partnership, because this is what this is. This is definitely a partnership as we move through the journey together, and at least help you go through it together.
Well, thank you so much for that really great overview. Just to piggyback of that, our team, and we can include that article recently, did a really great article and some research that find out that 82% of nonprofits who come to Giveffect are not happy with specifically, not just with the platform, but specifically with client success. A lot of teams say that it's hard for them prior to Giveffect to reach out, get a hold of someone, and get in touch and get features implemented. So this is one of the area. For us, it's important not only to create the platform, but also provide the service to our nonprofits, be human-centered, client-centered, and provide a lot of support resources to help everyone succeed with technology and also our help. Wonderful. So I don't think we have any questions, a live one. And again, if anyone wants to add a question, please feel free to do so. But before we finish, I am just gonna put you on the spot for a second and ask you one last question before we wrap up. I know you specifically work with and in conversation with a lot of different animal welfare organizations. Is there any kind of favorite, or is there any questions that you get asked a lot when it comes to the platform, or any specific need that you see among those teams?
Well, everyone is my favorite, so that as they come into and check us out and ask questions. But I do as of lately, I think what has been kind of like very similar challenges and priorities to what they are experiencing in terms of animal welfare organization is definitely there is a lot of manual work, and knowing, especially with it coming from a very small team, it could just be 3 to 5 people sometimes, and they're handling the foster side of things, and then the volunteer of the regular shifts, and trying to understand and make that all work with one person wearing so many hats. And then after them seeing the platform, I think it's just a relief that it can be done in such a seamless way, this way, not just the volunteer side. And I do understand that there are it's very volunteer heavy in terms of animal welfare, but also that push for the revenue, which is that online donation, may it be in person or in kind. I think also, revenue in terms of the donation that way also pushes the organization to not just to grow, to be bigger, but also to take care of what is most important, which are animals.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have one question from Marcus. Thank you so much for submitting the question. And I'll rephrase, but the question basically, what is the cost of Giveffect? And happy to take that question and share just a little bit more. Again, thank you so much for submitting the question. In Giveffect's case, pretty much similar to probably other platforms. So our prices, our cost is based on the capacity, meaning database capacity, number of constituent records, but also number of the users or admins who will be accessing the platform. So Marcus, to answer your question, it really depends on your current state, right? And how much capacity you need. But just to give you an idea of how it looks like, our starter package is the smaller package, which consists of 5,000 records and 3 users. So that package starts at $4.99 a month with annual contract. And then it depends, we have 10,000 package, 15,000, 20,000, and so on. If you're interested, take a look. There is a section on the website, but also happy to connect. And depending on your requirements, we can also discuss what options is there. One thing I'm going to put here that October is approaching, end of year is approaching. So really great news is a couple of things. One is with Giveffect, we do not charge anything for onboarding, which is completely complimentary, but also starting October, we will be providing free of charge data migration till end of year. So the only cost is the subscription cost for the year, which is a really great incentive and help to minimize the cost of the platform. The second thing I'm just gonna share about our cost structure also, that all our prices are in perpetuity, meaning that let's say you signed up for the package. So unless your organization reaches capacity, constituent capacity or user capacity, we will not, it's part of our mission or commitment to a nonprofit, we do not increase prices year on year. So unless you're staying with the same capacity, you will have the same price for as many years as you wish. So we have some clients who've been paying the same cost for 6-7 years. I hope this answered your question. All right. So with this being said, we're almost on time. And if we don't have any other last minute questions, and again, if you think about additional questions, please feel free to reach out to Kay and myself. We're gonna put in the chat, I'm gonna put my and Kay's email. So if you have any additional questions or would like to speak with us one-on-one, we'll be more than happy to connect with everyone. And at the end, when we finish, there is a very, very short survey. It just have a couple of the questions. We would like to continue creating more specialized webinars for animal welfare organization, going beyond Giveffect overview, but sharing more specifically for fundraising, volunteer management, and so on. So we truly appreciate your support. And again, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. It was truly our pleasure to connect.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you, teams. Tara, Yulia, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.